part 16. It's done. There might be a part 17 because I got to put I've got to screw it back together, put all the electrics together. I might not. I might just show it running because it's the same videos I did the other ones. No one's really watching my channel at the minute. It's I think it's dead. I think the channel's dead. It's my own fault, but like I said, I don't really care because I'm not making. I don't intend to make money from this. But if you're someone who would really want to be a YouTuber, this must be devastating for them. Anyway, so here she is. Oh, it's just taking a while. So in this video, it's about putting little bits on like the leaves, oil stains, fuel stains, rust on the exhaust, and the smoke. You know, the exhaust gases on the back of the exhaust, and how to do that. And then that's it. So I'm not going to hammer on too much. If you'd like to like, subscribe and share, that would be fabulous. If you'd like to watch it, would be good. But yeah, I think this is useful. This is the only one of these I think this is in existence. There's not another 1/16 Ukrainian T-72AV. Not one. This is unique. Alright, so why don't you all try and make one as well and make it ununique? Okay, so look, let me put this video together and I'll see you on the next project, which will be the Centurion at last. Thank God. You might want to watch that a bit more. So yeah, so there she is. All done. Look, have a lovely weekend and I will see you anon. Or as we would say in the old days, TTFN. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi everybody. Yeah, I nearly got rid of my cough. Now I've just got one bunged up ear and I've got a gig on Saturday. So whenever you play trumpet and you've got a bunged up ear, it sounds like there's a little man playing right inside your head. It's a bit different. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some fuel stains. I've got some other ones as well. So I've got some engine oil. So that will go around here. Engine grime, also around here. Yeah, so fresh engine oil as well I might put around here because these ones, they have oil. They're not fuel. I think that one and that one's oil. I think these are fuel. And also around the turret ring where there's oiling systems, I'm presuming if the tank's in the field, it will get a bit oily and splattered around there. All right, so let me just do this. Now, when you use this, don't push this, put this on whole. Thin it down a bit for the first layers. Don't get it actually on the fuel filler caps because when you think about it, they'll be taken off, won't they, when they put fuel on? So if they've got fuel on them, something drastic's gone wrong. So I'm just going to use masking putty to just put on the top of those when I'm working on putting the fuel stains on, so it should look right. Okay, so let me put this on a camera stand, and then I'll show you putting it on. All right. Before I do that, actually, I might just quickly yeah, I'll put it on the camera stand, and I'll show you. Right, I've thinned some of this down. I've put it into my paint mixing tray. Don't put too much enamel thinner in this straight away because it turns it into a giant gloop. I don't know why that is. I've mixed this thoroughly, and it yeah. So I don't know if you can see on here, it's separated out from the thinner. Now I don't know why that is. It doesn't normally do that. And this is a brand new. So I don't know what that's all about. So anyway, I'm going to put a bit of masking putty on these fuel tops because I don't want to get anything on them if I can help it. I should be able to with a brush without doing it, but I want to do a few splashes as well, but I'm not sure I can do that with how thick that's gone. It's a bit odd. So yeah, hopefully this will just stop me getting paint on the filler caps. Around the edges is fine, but not on them. So let's get a bit more of this. See if I can dilute it there. A bit thinner. And then what you want to do is put the slightly more diluted stuff around it, but not, and try and make it again not uniform. And then what you do is you have to wait now for that to dry, and then use some neater stuff on top of that. All right, to give it that sort of effect of layered. So you've got to wait for this bit to dry before you attack anything else. Okay. So let me finish this off, but this is your general idea, and I'll show you what it looks like when I've put a bit more on. Right, I'm just waiting for this to dry. But I did a little teeny bit of splashing as well, thin down. But this is misbehaving. It's separating out and going like a goo. So, doesn't normally do that. Normally it'll just thin down. It's really odd. Answer on a postcard, if anyone was watching this anyway. Probably not. But yeah. So let me do this, and then that's basically the idea. And then once that's dry, you end up adding thicker stuff on for fresher fuel stains. And that's why I concentrated pigment around these fuel tanks more, because the dirt and stuff will get stuck in the fuel that's spilled. More so. Anyway, see you in a bit. So, if you can see now, that's the oil stains on a bit. I'm going to put a little bit more on. So you can see the difference with different layers of oil that might have been spilt. And if you can see, there's some splashing as well that I've done around the turret ring. All right, this is nearly done, thank God. I'll put some little leaves on and stuff. And then, yeah, so let me just show you the next little bit of fuel staining I will put on. A little bit more splashing, and then that bit's done. And then I've just got to put all of those on, which is the end bolt that comes with the track set, which I haven't done yet, which is why I've not weathered the tracks. So I want to put those on first. Anyway, let's get this on the stand, and I'll show you the last little teeny bit of splashing and stuff. So on this, I'm just going to use it straight from the pot, so it's not been watered down or anything. And then what you want to do, make sure you shake it up as well. And then just put a few more darker stains on to make it look like there's fresh fuel. So it's a bit tricky to do this with a little bit away from you. You see what I'm doing? And I want to do a little teeny bit of splashing from this as well. So I might need a different paintbrush for splashing. This might work. No, I need a new paintbrush, but yeah, so I don't know, might work. Yeah, so there we go. And that's all. So let me carry on with this, and then I'll show you with the whole finished process, okay? Right, so that's it all done with the splashing. That's fuel. These ones here are oil. I think these are oil tanks, and these two are fuel. I've put some fuel grease and the splashing around the turret ring. It's probably like overkill, but it makes it just look a bit interesting. So yeah, that's the fuel stains. All right, and the splashing is just using slightly bigger brush, and then the smaller brush for adding the more in detail stuff. And you do it in a couple of layers, not just one thing. You wait for the first layer to dry that's more translucent, and then put more down to make it look like fresh. So that should dry up. Right, on to the next bit, leaves. And here's my pre-made little leaves with my Green Stuff World leaf maker. I'm just going to stick them on a tank with watered down white PVA glue. And I'm just going to put them on first by just literally dropping them on and blowing them around a bit and seeing when they get stuck. And then when they get stuck, I'll stick them. All right, and I'll show you how to do it in a second. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this amount of leaves over it. And then I just work out which ones I want to keep and which ones not. And the ones that I think look all right, I'll stick on. And that's it basically. And I think it just gives it a bit of interest. So probably these ones on the engine deck I'll keep because they look like they get stuck there. That one wouldn't get stuck there, would it? That might get stuck down there. Near those bricks. Maybe not on the bricks. Around there and the front on these ERA bricks. Yes. So I think, so I'll stick them on. Just give it a bit of interest. So I'm now going to use a bit of ultra glue, which is basically PVA, I think. And I'm going to thin it down a bit with some water, because it's acrylic. And I'm just going to stick them on, so they don't move. So here I've watered down the ultra glue, and then I'm going to get some tweezers, dip the leaves in where they've fallen, and then stick them on. Right, so there's the leaves. All stuck on. So I think it just breaks it up a little bit. And it would have been autumn time or winter I've modelled this on, so I think they're accurate. And it's just stuck on with it, like I said in the previous video I just did. If some of them are a bit glossy, then just use some VMS Ultra Matte varnish on top of it. And that does the job. Right, next little bit, it's nearly done. I'm just going to do the exhaust. So I'm going to rust the exhaust. I'm going to mask it up so that I don't get pigments and paint everywhere. And then we're going to go from there. All right, I'll show you when I've masked it all up, and I'll show you application. Right, I've just decanted some MIG acrylic rust, a medium rust, and paint it first with the dark rust. Okay. Like I said, it's acrylic. A few coats is fine. It doesn't cover straight away. Well, it might do actually. So what you want is a coat of just this first. Now, I'm going to use pigments on this as well. This is why I've masked it up, because all of the metalwork around this is aluminium, or as our American cousins would say, aluminum. So it wouldn't have rust. Aluminium doesn't rust. It bubbles, but it doesn't rust. So you put this coat on first. So let me do that and I'll finish that off, and then I'll show you what we do with this one, and then what we do with the pigments. Okay, I'm now going to take a bit of sponge with some light rust on. This is why I've masked everything off, because with a sponge you can't be that accurate. And I'm just doing this with the sponge. Alright, but like I say, mask up the areas you don't want rust on, especially on a tank like this, because most of this stuff is aluminium or aluminum. And now I've done it, I'm going to let that dry for a bit, and I'm going to start using pigments. Alright, with some pigment fixer. Anyway, right, now it's still slightly wet. I'm going to use tracked rust right at the back of the exhaust. Alright, then I'm going to use, and then slowly come forward using lighter tones of rust. So then medium rust, and then light rust. Okay, and then you've got to remember this is going to have the exhaust soot over it as well. But if you can see with the sponge chipping, it kind of starts giving it that moulded look. Moulded look is not the right word, is it? You know what I mean? That kind of homogeneous rust everywhere look. But try and work from dark to light. All right. So let me just quickly. So this is track rust. So really I'm using pigment like paint in some respects, and this is track rust. All right. So that's my daughter, she got a damn cough that I had. Hate it when your kids get ill. But this is why I put tape down, because it's quite messy. All right, so there's that one. Clean the pigment off the brush. And now I'm going to use medium rust. I'm going to bring that a bit forward. Here. And then what you do is with a light rust, you use it as like a highlighter. So and also you put pigments on, it does give it a bit of texture, which is kind of what you want. You see? And I think that looks rusty enough. And then with the black soot on it and everything else, it should do the job. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of pigment fix on it. And I may just add a little bit more over the top onto the pigment fixer, because then it gives it a bit more texture. There we go. And then, yeah, and that's done. That's how I do rusty exhaust. All right, and that's it. And the pigment fix will dry, and that should all be stuck on. It won't be a problem. Anyway, we'll come back and put the soot on. Right, so I'm going to put the exhaust black on with pigments. I don't like airbrushing the exhaust on because I think you can get a bit carried away. It's just me, I guess. But so I've got some pigment and some odorless enamel thinner, and I'm just going to put the black pigment on. And then what we do, we just wait for it to dry. I know it's quicker to do this with an airbrush, but I quite like it this way. So look, that's all it is. That's all I'm going to do. Might just bend it down a bit. Yeah, and I was going to say, while it's drying, you can even stipple it a bit. There's no fake way of airbrushing was you would stipple edges to make it look like you'd use an airbrush. Yeah? And I know how to use an airbrush. You know I know how to use an airbrush, but I think doing exhaust stuff, I think you just get carried away. I think you just end up smacking half a ton of black paint on it. And then go, oh! And then you're stuffed, sort of thing. So I just think this is a bit of a safer way. And like I say, you can use odorless enamel thinners to get rid of some of this. Not all of it though, but some things. So just stippling, you know. So when it's driving, the exhaust smoke go towards the back, wouldn't it? Yeah, and I think it looks pretty effective. So just in there. There. And I might chuck some pigment fixer on that. But to me that looks all right. So it looks quite sweetie. There we go. That's what I'm doing. And we'll look at that when it's dried. I'm now just pigment fixing it. Like I always do. It should work. I might dry it off with the airbrush. And you can even work it a bit with a pigment fixer. There we go. I'm now going to try that with an airbrush. And yeah, and I know it's nuts, it's probably easy to do this with an airbrush, but I feel as though I haven't got enough control with an airbrush to do this without it going hideously wrong. It's just me. You can use a hairdryer as well to fix it and dry it quicker, but see it's coming down in tone? I think that looks quite effective. I think it looks better than do it with an airbrush. Of course you're going to disagree. But to be honest with you, no one's watching any of these. Literally my the channel since has taken a decided turn for the worse. Let me just do the intro on this, and I'll take this off stand, we'll do the intro, and then this is the last part. There's going to be another part of me putting all the slip ring and stuff, everything in, and I've got to put magnets on the back, but it's all screwed down at the front and the middle, besides the airbrush. Alright then, let me get this off stand. So yeah, there it is. I think that looks quite effective. It's got pigment fixer on, so it'll stay on. I could do it with a brush, so it kind of gave me more control, and I can stipple it more. You've still got some of the rust that you've done. I think that looks pretty realistic. I don't know you guys. And hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, I've tried to get some like splatting, because there would have been some oil. And they also use these to burn diesel off, don't they, to make smoke screens. So I might do a little teeny bit of engine oil splattering on that. I don't know. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, so I think that's all right. Look, so that's it for this. I've just got to put it together, put some magnets on the back, and put the electrics in, and then we'll run it. I've got to do all of these. They go in there. But I'm not going to film now, I'm just going to do it. And then I might do a completely separate video on track weathering. It's got nothing to do with this, but like a separate thing. Alright, look, I'll see you in a tick.